Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Elite Zone podcast. This is a podcast for real estate agents who are wanting more visibility, more authority, and credibility in their market. And we are providing you with the tools, tips, and strategies to get that done. I've got Blake Ferretti, my co host, with me today. How are you, Blake?
Woo, I am good. It is sunny out. It's a great day to have a great day. How are you doing?
Couldn't have put it better myself. Great day to have a great day. I love it. I love it. So,
Woo.
we are going to be talking about, you know, high level stuff today, building a concrete visibility system, and really, diving into the systems you need that save time. So, like, if you're listening, let me ask you guys something. Like, how many hours did you put into your business last week? Posting, calling, showing up, grinding, and all of that. And then the harder question is, did any of those hours actually build something that works for you when you sleep or while you sleep, right? So I don't know, Blake, if you agree or if you have this experience, but most agents that I talk to, they're like the busiest people I've ever seen. They're here, they're there, they're wearing multiple hats. And if they feel invisible, they're working really hard. That's just a drag, right? Nobody wants to work really, really hard and not reap any of the rewards for it. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, and we're gonna try to teach them how to fix that today.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and I think the biggest myth here that's killing real estate agents' business is this idea that if I just post one more reel, or if I just send one more email, or update my website one more time, the leads are just going to magically appear, right? But that's not a strategy. That's hope. So
Yeah.
what like how do we set these guys on the right path to getting more done while they're not having to manually work on it, right? And then knowing the strategy that's going to work, not just
Yeah.
posting, grinding, hustling, working. Oh, I should try this. Oh, I should try that, and just throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah, of course. So, the strategy there is really a framework that breaks down every stage that an agent should be doing to have that success or to not feel like I'm doing so much, but I'm not seeing any sort of reward from all the efforts I'm putting into. So, first, I would definitely recommend we break a lot of this down in our Visible Agent Playbook. So I recommend if you don't have it already downloaded, or this is the first time you're hearing this podcast, go download our Visible Agent Playbook. It lists and is in detail the framework. You can go to agently.com/visible, or you can call us. So whatever you prefer, but let's break down that framework a little bit together. So the first framework or part of the framework is kind of like your visibility, your presence, right? Like where you show up. Do
Mhm.
you have a website that you are able to control the messaging of what is out there? Do you have a Google business profile? Do you have a like socials? So that would kind of be like what we like to call the omnipresence, right? Being visible online. So that's stage one, breaking down that framework. I would say stage two would be kind of like the consistency. So I think this is kind of going off of a little bit of what you were just talking about of like, I'm doing all of these efforts, I'm
Mhm.
posting on my website, I'm writing the blogs, I'm getting the reviews, but I don't feel like I'm seeing any results. Well, it's
Yeah.
just like I like to put it of like when you go to the gym, right? It's something new. You maybe don't have a structure yet, but you just are like, you know what? I'm determined. I'm going to put in the work. And you go for, let's even say like 3 weeks. You're obviously putting in a lot of work and you feel like I should be seeing results by now. But the reality is, you're not going to see results in 3 weeks, right? Like
Right.
you, and if you did, that would be, I
That'd be
mean, you
awesome.
really, well, you would really need to make a serious change, right? But reality is, it takes time. You might see it maybe at the, 60-day mark, 90-day mark, maybe
Yep.
even a year, depending on the program or structure you are implementing in your business.
Yeah.
So the consistency needs to be over a certain amount of time before you're really starting to see that momentum growing. I always like to say, give something like a chance or put 110% into something you're doing for at least 6 months. I
Mhm.
think that is a great base to start at to where if in 6 months you're like, "Hey, I've been consistent. I've
Yep.
been, trying to get my visibility up, whether it's on your website, your Google business profile, your socials, and you're not seeing the strategy work." Okay, you know what? Maybe then reevaluate what you're doing, and maybe there's another strategy that's gonna work best for you. But if you don't give it that 6 months at least, it's the consistency is just not gonna compound the way it needs to. So, just to recap, so we talked about one, having that visibility and presence, so actually being online everywhere. Second is consistency, making sure you're doing things more than once, twice, or for 2 weeks, right? It needs to at least be, the 60 days, and really implementing that strategy that you are doing. Um, and then authority, right? Like that is the next stage of being able to showcase who you are from the clients or people you meet. So, we say about when we're talking about authority is the reviews. Like
Right.
getting your clients or people that you've worked with, not necessarily like you've closed a deal with, but someone that has, valued your work, your communication, or, anything in regards to just like you as a person, like being able to showcase that on all platforms of, hey, every time I see Blake or Max's name, I know this is the result I'm gonna get, or I know this is how they work. Like, yes, this is a person I want to work with. So making sure like you have your Google reviews. Yes, you want reviews everywhere, right? Like you wanna, if someone's looking on your website, they want to see the reviews there. Maybe if they're looking at your Facebook, they want to see reviews there.
Mhm.
But you once again like need those reviews. This is like a little side story as I mentioned a few episodes ago, currently looking for a property, and I looked up this agent that I was in the area, and
Mhm.
I couldn't find them. They had no Google Business profile, so I was like,
Mhm.
"Hmm, okay, all right. Well, let me see if they have a website." And they have no website.
Really?
It's only their
Just the
Zillow
broker
link.
page? Yeah, or the Zillow, okay.
Yeah, and I'm
Mm.
like, "Okay, well, this doesn't really tell me yeah, I can see what properties maybe they helped buyers or sellers, but, like, I wanna see more, like, is this agent knowledgeable in the area that I'm specifically looking at? Is this like, where I wanna see reviews about this agent because I wanna know how other people's experience were, and immediately I was just like, 1, we should definitely call this guy because we can help him. But 2, I'm like, that's why it's so important for agents to make sure they're having those reviews out there and are able to show that authority that they have in the areas that they specialize in. So that would be the 3rd of the 5-step, framework, and then we go into the 5th one, which is speed. Speed to lead
That's what's
is
up.
what I like to say,
Yep.
right? And that's where I think the automations and not being afraid of utilizing AI and the tools that allow you to create these automations is gonna be where the, good agents are separated from the great agent. And that gap is really based on the response time with agents that are using their automation. So I think we've talked about it too of like use the AI tools that have come out to create maybe an AI bot that's like, "Hey, we just got your request," or "Hey, we saw you looking at, this property. Like, here's more information about other listings in that area," right? Like using your save search, which is your property organizer in your CRM, where you can set them up to get listing alerts of properties that your clients are wanting, or maybe they're not your clients yet, but they're on your website looking, right?
Right. So you wanna
So
build that relationship and start those creative conversations and things like that.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and, like, as you mentioned earlier this morning, like, agents are so busy, whether it's
Mhm.
creating relationships at networking events, at open houses, helping their clients, doing showings, like, there's so much that they're doing, and on top of it, doing marketing and making sure they're, relevant online, to
Yep.
where if you can have just that 1 or 2 messages that get automatically sent out to someone that shows interest, or if you had the drip campaign emails where maybe they're not ready to buy or sell now, but hey, in maybe 6 months to a year, you potentially could be there. I want you thinking about me and I want to be the agent that's able to help you. So that's where like speed to lead, being able to communicate with that lead right away, using your automation or using those automations to stay top of mind is going to be key to agent success, right? And then we go into the last one, which is connectivity. And I think that's a combination of basically everything working together
Yeah.
where, okay, it kind of like works off of what we just broke down, right? So someone finds you. Perfect. You then are visible and you have created authority where they're like, yes, this is someone that I potentially want to work with. Now, I reached out or gave my information and they immediately sent a message where I'm now engaging with this agent. And that's where the connectivity part of building relationships and being that person that the client wants to work with, not for one deal, but hopefully many to come. And I think that's like what we talk about so much is like one thing that, AI, the fear mongering happens where people are like, it's going to take over and it's going to take my job. The connectivity part will never be something that's able to be replaceable. Like that truly is where agents are able to use their skills of, being that wooer and helping their clients. So I think when you have that framework and you are actually implementing the strategy, you're giving it time to grow. You're all that work you're putting in, you're gonna see the reward.
Love it.
So
Yeah, great. That's a great framework. A lot of gold in what you just said. And I mean, really, what I'm getting from you is that this visibility stuff, all of this, like it's not tactic. It's an ecosystem. And if
correct.
all your tools are not talking to each other, if the website isn't connected to the CRM, or if your content doesn't lead to a trust signal, or if your response time is slow, we talk about speed to lead, then you're not
Yeah.
really building your business. You're kind of shouting into the void, right? And
Mhm.
that can be very frustrating. So, and to add to that, like we don't mean just being everywhere for the sake of it, right? We mean
Yeah.
strategic omnipresence, like we're talking about. So if your ideal client, if they need to see, they need to see your face and name in the places they already live if you're trying to help them sell their home, right?
Yeah.
Or if they're going to buy a home, if they're looking in a neighborhood, they need to see relevant, fresh, new, consistent content from you in that area. So really, yeah, it's the question isn't like, am I posting? Is it showing up where my buyers or sellers are, when it needs to be in front of them. So, to the agents out there, I want you guys to think about this. Right now, if somebody in your farm Googles your name and real estate right now, what would they find? Are they going to find no Google business profile? Are they going to find only a broker website? Are they going to find, social media posts where the last time was July 2022 that you put something out? And this isn't to shame anybody, but it's to literally say, if you were that buyer or seller, does that throw out signals of trust that, "Oh, yeah, great. This is somebody I wanna work with," and the answer is no, it doesn't. So,
Mhm.
that's why we harp so much on this stuff. Now, for the consistency part, I think that's,
Yeah.
like, one of the most important. Every time I work with somebody new and they're like, "Well, can I just see how it's gonna go for 30 days and then make my decision?" And I usually say, "Absolutely, you can do that, but I can almost promise you you're not gonna see the results you want in a 30-day period." It's usually
Yeah.
6 months, I used to say 3 months, not anymore. Now it's more like 6 months, right? Because here's the thing, guys, is there's so much content out there and our attention spans are going down, right? And
Yeah.
now with the invention of AI, with the ease of video apps and this kind of stuff, you don't have to go hire a videography team to shoot video. You don't need to have pay 5 grand for a website developer to create a great website before you. Check out Agent Elite, wink, wink. You don't need to pay an SEO team to, meticulously strategize and research for months and months and months to get things going. So the AI, it's not going to take over. It's just going to help you speed things up. But because of the competition, because of the ease of access to this, it means that everybody else can do this stuff quick too.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's not like, do I have a website? Do I have a social media presence? All of it's are you fresh, new, consistent, intentional, and are you in the
Mhm.
right place and asking the right questions and hitting the right pain points? And at Agent Elite, that's part of the strategy that we help you guys with. So if you come to Blake and you're like, Blake, I got it. I got a website. I'm on social media. I got a Google business. I'm doing everything I need to be doing, but it's just not working. Then we're going to be able to analyze that, look at that, and then we're going to be able to help you. And it's going to build once you get this in place, the authority piece. This is, I think, one of the things that agents ignore until it's too late, right?
Mhm.
The reviews are either, closing deals in the background or you're losing them. If somebody's deciding between you and another agent down the street, if you are not signaling trust and authority and you call them, if you're not quick, right, then you're most likely going to lose a deal to an agent that is doing that stuff.
Well, yeah, and to that point, right? I think we've said this before too, and it's so important is like sometimes you're not losing the deal at the listing presentation anymore. You're losing the deal when they're searching you and they are looking at an agent in the area that has all of the trust signals with the reviews. They have their own website. You can tell they're very active in the community versus someone who might have 20 plus years of knowledge and has helped a lot of buyers and sellers, but there's just nothing showing that, right?
Yep.
And that's where they lose that deal is they're not having that authority or presence and they go with with someone else that does. So I think also understanding that it's not the listing presentation, it's immediately when people are searching, that's where the deal really happens and starts.
Exactly. And just to that point, I know there's agents right now that are like, "Yeah, but like I got word of mouth, I get really good referrals
Mm.
and my family and my friends and my past clients, they'll talk really really great about me and they'll sell me." True, that's great if you have that, but from let's see, this is from Bright Local Consumer Review, a survey. It says 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. And
Mhm.
agents with 10 plus Google reviews receive significantly more contact form completions. So this isn't stuff we're making up, guys. I love it if you're getting referrals and word of mouth. That's great. But the effectiveness, and we've talked about this before too, the effectiveness of the verbal referral, it's not going
Yeah.
to stop somebody from Googling you. So
No,
if I
yeah.
told you, hey, Blake, when you come to San Diego, you got to check this restaurant out. It's great. You're like, okay, cool. Like I know Max. I trust Max. I've seen his body type. He likes to eat meals. Just kidding. Just joking, just
No,
joking.
I
Just
yeah,
throwing some
yeah,
humor in there. Anyways, the
yeah,
point is
yeah,
is if you look that restaurant up and there's 4 one-star reviews and the first thing you see is like the service was slow and it ruined my date. Like,
yeah.
it
Found
doesn't matter.
here I found
Yeah.
here in the food.
Yeah.
I'm immediately gonna be like, "Thanks, Max, but I'm all set."
See what I'm saying? Right, and so it's just like that, and imagine, like, that's dinner. This is a house. This is like trusting somebody with a huge, emotionally labor-intensive, um, you know, uh, event to go through. So,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
that's insane, and then the speed thing to it. This is another good one. This is from Harvard Business Review, okay?
Mhm.
So, we're gonna drop something big. It says, "Responding to a lead within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes makes you 100 times more likely to connect. After 5
Mhm.
minutes, your odds significantly drop after that. It says by, let's see, 80%. So, guys,
That's
if you get a
crazy.
lead, right? If you get a lead and you wait more than half an hour to get back to them, you are knocking out 80% of your chances to work with that person, right?
And the best part is that's something you can control with the automation.
Exactly.
So, get those automations set up so you automatically have that 80% of being that number one agent. Like, that's where control I always say control the controllables, right? Like, there's some
Mhm.
things, they're out of your control and you just can't do anything about it. Yes, is it frustrating? And you're
Yeah.
like, "What the heck?" But that's also life. But
Yeah.
the things that we can control, which is setting up your system, setting up your automations, so that way you are having that success. It's like kind of a no-brainer. So,
Yes.
yeah, I just wanted to touch on that of like the speed. It's like control the controllables, and this is something you can control.
Yeah, totally, and, you were talking about automation, so just
Mhm.
out of curiosity, is it really hard to set up the automations? Like, what are some examples of an automation that a real estate agent could do with the Agent Elite tool stack, and how difficult is that to actually set up?
Yeah, so like I always like to say, it's not that it's hard, it's just work. um,
Yep.
but
True that.
there are a lot of clients that, once again, are very busy, that do wear multiple hats, and they join on our concierge package. And so, like,
Mhm.
with that concierge, and we'll go over both, like, if they're on that or not,
Right.
um, our team does it for them. So if an agent's like, hey, these are the list of clients I have, and I need you now to create these automations, our team will go ahead, and we have content writers who actually know like good key terms to write in messages, make them more personalized. They're not like, "Hey, thanks for getting in touch. Goodbye." Right? It's
Right.
a little more in depth of personalization,
Yes.
and we can create, as many campaigns basically that you need being on our concierge. Now, we do have clients that are on concierge, and that's totally fine too.
Yep.
Now, the system though is actually so easy. We in our system have 3 campaigns automatically in your system, for buyers, sellers, and then you have those general people that are like, I could buy, I could sell, I have multiple properties, I'm kind of in the middle.
Yep.
And but you can go and personalize, right? And it's all normal where you just go into it. It's like if you were going into an email and you're
Yeah.
you just type. It's
Yep.
it's so it's simple to where it's easy to edit, it's easy to do. Of course, if you need guidance or help, like we have tutorials, we have a team that can definitely guide you through it. But as
Yep.
far as like the meat of the content, we definitely, if you're not on concierge, recommend that you create so that way you know your client the best.
Yep.
You know your personality and how you want to speak to those prospects. So it's super easy to do. And when you personalize those messages, I also think you have a higher success rate of getting responses back because people feel, even though it's an automation, feel the personalization, which in turn I think also helps, with that relationship building.
Absolutely. I mean, that's literally that's why, we talk so much about the importance of lead segmentation and knowing people's unique needs. And when somebody
Yeah.
goes on the website, if they're looking at a house in a neighborhood and that house has specific features, then guess what? You're gathering information so you can
Yeah.
plan the next outreach to them. Now, I think that that's brilliant, and I want to mention something that I heard Jeff Bezos in an interview. Everybody knows who
Okay.
Jeff Bezos is. He's got a little bit of money, a little bit of success. And they asked him, how did Amazon blow up so big? Like, how did you do it? And what he said, he only said one thing, and what he said was, I was obsessed with the details, with every little
Mhm.
detail,
Mhm.
because if you think, and you might be saying, well, Amazon and being a real estate agent, what does that have to do? Well, it's convenience, it's speed, it's I know what you want before you because I'm paying
You even
attention
know before
before
you
you
even
even
know what you
know.
want.
Yes, right? So
I
when
get
we're you
yeah,
can recommend if you taught like, if you search for something, you Amazon's like, "Hey, Blake, do you need a new lawnmower? Do you need it?" Like,
yeah,
"Are you
yeah. I'm
having
like,
a
"How'd they know
remodel on your
that?"
house? Are you looking for a new house?" Exactly,
I'm
right?
like, "Yeah, I need a
They
new
know
couch.
that.
How'd they know I needed a new couch?" Yeah,
Right, right, and
yeah,
so by sitting down and saying, "Okay, I've got the foundation, I've got authority and trust. Now, if somebody is going to if I wanna convert somebody, how do I get every detail lined up to the point where when I start interacting with this person, they feel like I already get like they're already working with me?" Like, it's
mhm,
just the obvious choice, right? So and, the details can be your details. They don't have to be my details or anybody else's, but really, pay attention to the details and the service and the speed and the convenience and the value. If you can do that, you're
yeah.
going to increase. You're gonna increase your revenue, you're gonna get more deals. So, I love it, and then the last pillar you talked about, which I think if you don't have this, none of the other ones really matter as much, but it's the connectivity that we talked
Yeah.
about that. So, with Agent Elite, your CRM and your website are connected,
Can
right? Something happens on your website, and I know, a lot of agents don't leverage tags and things like that, but the technology that we've got now is making it a lot easier where you don't have to go sift through everybody and then manually sort them and manually tag them and then create, bounce down lists and re-upload. Like it's getting more seamless. So agents, you got to look at AI as this thing can help me be faster, be more consistent, be more visible, hone in my messaging, do better research on the potential buyers and sellers that I want to see in my market, and connect everything together so it's one unified message signaling trust. And that's when people light up. Like
magic happens.
that's when the magic happens. Exactly. Exactly. So don't miss any of these. And I
Yeah.
know that we're getting towards the end of the episode here, but I do want to ask you about something. And this is interesting because this is I want to drop this is another stat that I got. This one is from the National Association of Realtors. It's a tech survey, okay? This says top producing agents spend 60% less time on manual social media tasks than average agents by using what? Scheduling tools, CRM automation, and templated follow-up systems, right?
Woo!
So there you go, guys. Like this isn't just Blake and I blowing smoke. This is real stuff. But Blake,
Yeah.
I want your take on this because a lot of agents I talk to think that if they do more, they'll get more. So why
Mhm.
is just more not necessarily the answer to getting what more business?
Well, sometimes when you do more, you lose the quality, right? And I think that you don't want to lose the quality. If you're going to do more and you can still maintain the quality, go for it. But usually, in most situations, that's where you start seeing, okay, I'm doing more. I'm just doing, doing, doing. But then the quality of the work or the outreach or the posting starts to drop because you're doing so much that you're not able to keep up the quality. Um, and it's not doing it honestly, it's not even about doing I like to say, "Work smarter, not harder," right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, yes, you wanna be a hard worker. I think, like, for me, that's just instilled in my DNA
Yeah,
is
good
to, like,
work
work
ethic.
hard.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, but I wanna work smarter about it because I want my effort to have the success or I wanna see the results. I think
Yep.
that's where my competitiveness comes in, where I'm like,
Yes.
I wanna see the results, but it's having that strategy of like, you don't need to do more to be successful. You just need to do it strategically. So then
Yep.
that way, the what you are doing is having the success. So it's not always about, like you just said, like, doing more, it's about doing quality work, it's about doing, like, the work that's actually gonna help you. I mean, the stat you just said is crazy of, like,
Yeah.
the automations and, like, it is true, like and also too, I just wanna point out, like, if you haven't done any of this and this is all new to you, like, try it out. It's not gonna hurt.
For
Like,
sure.
especially if you're in a place where you're like, I feel like I've been doing so much, or I feel like I've tried it already. Try it
Mhm.
again.
Yeah,
Try it again. Try it again with a new strategy, maybe with a new company, maybe with, a new messaging. Like, just try it again. Sometimes the first time might not always work, right? And maybe you need to try a few other times. But don't try and only do it for 2 weeks. Try and do it for 6 months, and
exactly.
then we can talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that, and hey, here's the thing, I know a lot of agents out there that pay tens of thousands of dollars a month for real estate coaches and people
Mm,
to help them, motivate them, help with their strategy, all of this. Well, guess what? Like, I'm literally sitting here. If you DM Agent Elite or you call us up, we will give you the knowledge that we have for free. We're not, if you want to work with us, great. I think you should because we've got the results to back it up. But if you believe in the value of coaching and you need strategic help, why wouldn't you take a free conversation with somebody that's been sitting with real estate agents for over a decade helping them do this stuff, It just seems
yeah,
like a
yeah,
no-brainer to me. So, I
yeah.
love it. Everything, I mean, this was like jam-packed episode, really, really good. Bringing it all together. Personally, the one thing I want agents to walk away with is to stop focusing so much on the content specifically, if that's what you've been doing, and shift focus a little bit more on the connection between your
Mm,
tools. Okay.
mhm,
Because that always like more content, better messaging. Yes, all of that's important. It is. But doing one quality post and making sure the whole system is connected will get you
mhm.
more dividends than having disconnected tools and just slamming posts and pictures all day, every day for volume's sake. Do you agree?
Yeah, yeah, I would agree
Yeah.
with that. And kinda just to end on my note too is, like, your systems aren't built in, like, one moment, right? It's, like, built through repetition, and I think out of the, 5 things in that framework, I really wanna hone in on the consistency part
Yeah.
and
So
really
important.
making sure it really is, and when you are consistent with something, one, I feel like it just also, like, I don't know, I feel like this, like, proudness that comes over of like, "Wow, I did that," right? And
Yeah.
that all comes from, being consistent, and because you're consistent, you're able to be visible. When you're able to be visible, you're able to, have contacts and clients come to you,
Yep.
and you're able to do what you love, which is helping buyers and sellers in real estate. So, yeah, just be consistent and try something consistently at least for a minimum of 6 months.
Love it. I love it. All right, guys. Well, look, if this episode gave you one insight that changes how you approach your business, share it with an agent that you think ought to hear it. And somebody who's grinding out there without a system. I know people like that. I know you're running in circles with people like that. So, absolutely share the knowledge. There's more than enough to go around.
Yeah.
And
Sharing is caring.
sharing is caring. Give us a call at Agent Elite. I'm Max Bergstrom. This is Miss Blake Ferretti. This has been Elite Zone, and we will see you next time.
Woo! Have a good one.